Hello, Guitar Smarts fans. Before you check out this podcast, I want to make you aware of a cool new place where you can interact with other Guitar Smarts listeners. It's a Facebook group called the Guitar Geek Hangout. That's where we hang out and talk about all things guitar. So, if you like the Guitar Smarts podcast, come and chat with Kieran and myself over in the Guitar Geek Hangout on Facebook. Maybe check out some pre-podcast clips and even get involved in asking and answering lots of questions from the other page dwellers. Hope to see you there. So you start playing that riff and everyone's going mad for it, and in my mind I'm going, I hate this moment. I hate this moment so much. I honestly, do you know what, once it gets into the second chorus where that riff, the riff, the main riff, where that's not being played anymore, I'm like, okay, I can chill out now. Greetings, welcome to the Guitar Smarts podcast and Happy New Year. We're back from a New Year's break and ready to go. We've got lots planned for 2022, more interviews, more conversations, possibly even some trips to some guitar stores and guitar shows too. And maybe we'll even take the podcast fully video so you can put a face to the voices. Anyway, this week Kieran and I are covering a topic that's been on the schedule for a while, but we never got around to it. We're talking about our favourite and least favourite songs to gig. Maybe you have your own idea of songs you'd like or don't like. Let us know what you think of ours in the comments on social media, and don't forget to check out the Spotify playlist of our chosen songs. You can find a link to it in the description of this podcast wherever you're listening to it. If you want to support the show, the best thing you can do for us is to give us a positive rating in your favourite podcast app, so the magic algorithms put us in the ears of more guitarists looking for podcasts to listen to. Check out Guitar Smarts phone cases, hats, and gym bags and other merch on the Etsy store, or make a contribution to the show on buymeacoffee.com. Links to those are in the description too. And finally, if you want to speak to other Guitar Smarts listeners or hear about what goes on around the show, then come and follow us on our social media pages so you can keep informed of some of the new things we have coming in 2022. That's enough nonsense from me. Let's get to it. Hey, Matt. Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year, Matt. Good to see you. We are on the other side of Christmas. It is 2022. Hooray. Let's see what this year brings, eh?
Let's see what it brings, indeed. Yeah. Hey, guess what? Let me tell you something that Santa brought for me.
Oh, yes. Let's have a look. The Gospel according to Luke.
The Gospel according to Luke. Steve Lukather's autobiography. My wonderful wife got me this for Christmas, and so far it has been nothing short of hilarious reading, and fascinating as well.
Your wife knows you. Wow. That's amazing. Did you have to drop any hints about that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh. It was in an Amazon wish list, but
I was going to say, because otherwise that's incredible.
Like, incredible. Inside. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I didn't even know he'd written a book. Is it?
It's only a few years old, so it's still all pretty relevant. And Steve Vai's done the foreword for it.
Oh my god!
So it's a great read so far. It's some fascinating stories about it and his life, and growing up and learning guitar and getting into music and being a bit of a wild child, being a hilarious wild child, and growing up with these people that all turned out to be incredible musicians. I mean, it's like it wasn't ever going to happen any other way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of, when you read his story, it's almost like he had no choice but to become the musician he became. But great present, great Christmas present. So how about yourself? How's your New Year and Christmas been?
Yeah, it was really good, buddy. I mean, it was very chilled out. Obviously, with COVID still having a presence here in the UK, it wasn't the kind of party season that it normally is over that holiday period for us, but we had a great time with the family, having young kids as well, man. It's amazing because you get to relive your childhood in some way through them because of the way that they get excited about Christmas.
That's right,
it's just a lovely thing to see. So it was really good, mate. And time off work and just playing some guitar at home. And just, yeah, man, it was a really nice break, and doing some thinking and planning as well for this podcast. We've been doing it a year this month,
pretty much exactly. In fact, when this comes out, it'll be so for the listeners' benefit, we tend to record just over about a week to 2 weeks in advance, just so we've got the time to get it prepared and ready to go out. So when this comes out, I think it'll probably be the 17th of January. Yeah. And it was the 11th of January when our first episode came out last year. So this will be the first one to be in the new. It'll be the first one in the new year, obviously. And amazing. A year of doing the Guitar Smarts podcast, 40 odd episodes so far. It's been fantastic, hasn't it?
Oh, it's been great fun. It's been really good fun, and I dare say it's going to be even more fun in this year ahead. As we've got a real, lovely group of listeners now across the globe tuning in regularly, and it's really building some momentum. And just over Christmas, doing some thinking and stuff that I think we can do for the show next year. Some stuff that I'm going to talk to you about after we've finished recording today or during the week. I've got some good ideas as well. So that we'll share with our listening audience.
I forgot to mention to you, actually, do you remember in the last episode before Christmas, or the one that came out just after Christmas, we were saying thanks to people that had joined us and people that, you reach out to us regularly. And I mentioned a chap, Ray, Big Ray, who who's listens to us. I think he's a long distance driver and stuff. Anna-Luthia. That's the thing. He reached out to me afterwards and said, "Oh, thanks for mentioning to me and stuff." And I got talking to him. I didn't realise he made guitars. Man, some of the guitars
he made guitars. Made. Yeah.
Oh, I was looking at his Instagram and so work he's done, and man, I'm keeping my eye out for stuff that he makes, because he makes some absolutely stunning guitars. Yeah, absolutely.
It's really nice
stuff that I didn't think I'd like. It's interesting how luthiers can still be so creative. That's what I think. That's one of the things I love the most about guitars is as much as I love the look of a Strat or a Les Paul, that old classic design that never seems to change. People can still come up with really creative, interesting ideas for for new guitars, and so another shout out for Ray though, for making some interesting stuff.
We didn't do him justice, did we? But definitely. I think his tag is Big Ray's Workshop, isn't it?
Big Ray's Workshop on Instagram. That's right. I'll put a link in the show description to his Instagram page.
Some beautiful guitars that he's doing. Really, really incredible stuff. Can't wait to see more
exactly.
Year. Yeah. Man. So we've got a year ahead. We've got a year of more podcasting. We've got a year of more ranting about stuff that we love and stuff that maybe we don't love, but it's good. It's good to rant about
more of the stuff we do love, but a little bit of the stuff that we don't.
Exactly, man. Yeah. Exactly. So I guess that brings us on to today's kind of topic, which is one that we'd been planning anyway before 2022. And it's one that we didn't ever get around to recording because we had so many other things drop in, some great interview guests and some great opportunities to get people on the show. So this one was always one that we planned to do. And I definitely looking forward to hearing your opinion on this. And I canvassed the opinion of the Meat, Rum and Music group last night as well, just to get their views on it. And it's a bit of a fun topic, really. It's nothing too serious, right? But it's that kind of moment where you're either joining a new band or you get the call for a dep gig, right? And the set list gets emailed through to you. And it's got all of the keys on it, and which is lovely, and the keys you expected the songs to be in again, which is lovely. And then you're scanning that list, and it's those moments where you go, "Yes, that song is on the list. That's brilliant." Not just because you know it, but because you genuinely love it, right? That always goes to stand. It's like, yes, I know that one. Don't have to learn that. And also then those songs that crop up and you just go, "Oh, really? Do we have to do that?"
Your heart sinks.
You go, oh. So we thought it would just be fun just to start the new year off with something a little bit lighthearted. We're going to get into some serious nerding out gear stuff again soon, and some more maintenance stuff and some more guests and things. But for today, to just ease us into the new year, we thought we'd just kick off with something a bit fun. So Matthew Oliver, has this ever happened to you? Have you ever been on the receiving end of a set list for a band and gone, there's probably more in here that I don't like than those that I do?
It's every gig. It's every gig. I haven't been in since we were in a band together, you and I. Yes. I haven't been in a band where I've had any kind of real, control over the set list like you would when you're in a band where you're doing pubs and clubs. You're doing your own thing. You've got your own vision for how the band should be. When you're a Depp musician, and which I've only been, I've only been. That's the only gigging I've done for probably the last 5 years. There's a predetermined set list, and you like it or lump it because you're there to do a job rather than have fun, right? I mean, invariably, I always have fun, whatever the gig is. But there's always a few songs that just, get my, I just don't like playing. I just genuinely don't like playing. But mostly it's always good stuff that I do enjoy playing. And actually quite often there's some stuff that I've not gigged before that I go, I've always wanted to do that, But for me, there's key songs which I just love playing. I just nothing but joy to play. And, thankfully most of the time it's like that. But we always get that. You get that set list through, or a list of songs from the singer. It's often if you're in a band that's mostly Deps, the set's dictated by the singer, right? What can they do? What's in their repertoire?
That's true. That's true.
And and these days it's quite an eclectic mix of stuff that I'll be honest, it sounds lazy, but for me, I'd say the more awkward the guitar part, the more likely I am to dislike the song, even if the song's quite a good song. I'm quite lazy like that. Also, I think
just because it's going to require some effort to kind of learn it, and you're like, I'm only doing this for 2 gigs for you guys, and it's going to take me 2 days to learn.
I mean, it's not that it's difficult songs. It's more to do with kind of, if it's not a particularly enjoyable guitar part to play, then I just kind of just want to get through it, and then that takes the joy and the shine out of it, really, a little bit. But we'll get to that. I think. All right. I think let's start with some positive. I've got more positive songs than I have negative songs. Right? Yeah. So shall we start with a couple of positives each?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Go for it. Go on. You go. Okay, first.
I'll go for it. I'm going to get my list out here. Right. So number one for me, one of the songs I love playing, and to be fair, anything by this band I love. Yeah. I really love playing this song, and it's Day Tripper by the Beatles. That tends to be in quite a lot of of the gig set list with the bands that I tend to dep with or play with. Day Tripper, I love that song.
It's a cool song, man.
It is a cool song. Fantastic riff. Anyone who thought the Beatles couldn't do riffs, absolutely wrong. I mean, Paperback Writer, Day Tripper, I Feel Fine. They're incredible riff makers. The guitarist gets to start the song. That's always cool.
It's a great intro. That didn't feature. Did that feature in our greatest guitar intros episode?
I don't think it did. No.
There's one we might have let slip through the net, because that is, I can even, as we're talking, hear in my mind's eye the exact guitar tone and the way you feel when you hear that intro. That's a cool guitar intro.
It is a cool guitar intro. It's a great riff. It's a great riff and simple, and there's a nice little turnarounds in that song. I like the backing vocals. I like how there's build-ups and stuff like that, and it comes back to the riff after the middle section. Fun song to play. That a really good fun song to play, and also I love listening to the singer in that song because it's a really great melody. Day Tripper, really great listening to a good singer sing that song.
I bet.
One of the biggest joys I get from gigging, as much as I love playing guitar, is I love listening to the other musicians in the band, and that's always a song where everyone locks in straight away because it's such a simple but really great song. So that's kind of like that kind of stuff for me. And I've got Day Tripper on there, but really Day Tripper is kind of a placeholder for that kind of song on the list, that kind of classic rock and roll. There's a number of songs that could fit on there. Actually, a lot of them Beatles songs, probably. Things like Saw Her Standing There, or
that's a great one.
Drive My Car, things like that.
And these are songs that the audience instantly knows as well. So, and we're probably going to mention this point a few times, and certainly this was mentioned by definitely a few people in the group that I spoke to in advance of us talking. Is there is that lovely positive feedback loop that you get from playing a song that you enjoy playing and you like, but then the crowd really loves, and then they're singing along, then everyone's having a good time. And Day Tripper, and many of the Beatles songs that you've mentioned all do that, right? Because everyone loves them, and they're good to play. Great start, mate. Great start.
Yeah. So that's kind of like I can be happy all night long playing music like that. You know, simple, classic kind of rock and roll stuff. You know that you all enjoy playing as a band, and then and I also think that even music that isn't that kind of popular in terms of mainstream music today. Because obviously we're talking 50 years old. And with that kind of music, 50, 60 years old now. I think it still translates really well onto the dance floor if you're a party band, especially if you're all enjoying playing that song in the band. Yeah, that really translates to the audience. If you're an audience and the band are really enjoying themselves, regardless of what that song is, then the audience tend to enjoy it as well.
Of course, they can see you guys are into it, and they kind of join in with your vibe. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So, Kieran, what have you got on your list for?
Well, this wasn't the first one on my list, but I'm now going to go to it because it makes perfect sense to. And it's one that you didn't mention in the long string of Beatles numbers that you reeled off. But
really?
But I had a Beatles one on there, which I love playing, and that's Come Together. I absolutely love it. Yeah. And I had a wry smile on my face when you said that the Beatles can't write riffs. It's just like, yeah, that's what they really can.
Oh, absolutely. And I've got to say, that is from my favourite Beatles album of all time as well, Abbey Road, which is just full of fantastic music from start to finish. That's a great choice.
I love that track. And there is obviously loads of people have covered it, and loads of bands go out and gig it regularly, and it's still one of those ones where I don't cringe over it. I just love it. I think it's a great song to play, and you can, like you said, it's one that the band can lock into really easily because everyone knows it. It's pretty straightforward, but you can mess around with the arrangement a little bit, entertain yourselves with it as a band a little bit by putting your own little stamp on individual bits of it, but it still centers around a fundamental core groove that the audience will love. And there is actually a great version of it by, I don't know if you've heard it, by Gary Clark Jr. Quite a heavy version of it.
I've not heard that version, but I obviously know of Gary Clark Jr. He's a fantastic guitarist.
Yeah, check out that version of it as well. Yeah. That's a cool kind of rock version of it as well, which I
can imagine him singing it. Actually, he'd really suit that song. And actually, it's good, man. I was just going to say, is that song, there's a lot of opportunity for a jam in that song, isn't there?
Oh,
a lot of opportunity to kind of, you know, drag that out a little bit. To kind of have a bit of fun with that song. It's definitely a jam night kind of song as well as a proper gig song.
Definitely. Excellent. I think we've added the first song to our list when we eventually make it to the jam night.
Hey, should I turn this into a playlist, by the way? Another Spotify playlist.
I think it's a great idea, because the first thing that I made a mental note of when you'd only got out of the gates with your first song was, I thought, I'm going to go, as soon as I hang up from this call, I'm going to go and listen to Day Tripper again. It's such a great song. So, mate, if you could just put everything into a playlist.
I will put that. I'll do that. So, I will. Once we finish this, I'll put the songs into a Spotify playlist, as I do, and get it out onto Spotify. So I'll put a link to it as well in the description of the podcast. So if you're listening, go and click on that link and you can go and listen to all these songs that we're mentioning today in the Spotify playlist. Fantastic idea.
Yeah. No, I like that. Yeah, and we did that, right? You did that for the guitar intros and guitar solos ones, and they're great. I love listening to those playlists when I'm driving. They're brilliant.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Yeah, they're good playlists. Cool. Actually, do you know, Come Together was covered by Michael Jackson, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I do remember that. That was. I'm just trying to think of the era that was.
It was the bad era, because it was, wasn't it? It was on the Moonwalker video that he did. He did a Moonwalker movie, didn't he?
Oh, man.
At the end of that. But that would have been, you know why he did that? Because that would have been around the time he purchased the Beatles back catalogue, right?
Yes,
So he owned the rights to that song when he recorded it. But yeah, that was a good version, actually. Jennifer Batten on guitar. I mean, yeah.
I watched her. Roz bought me tickets to see her.
Yeah.
Well, it was actually a Michael Jackson kind of tribute concert a couple of years ago, just before COVID. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm up for that. And she said, oh yeah, and apparently they've got, she bought it as a present for me because I used to be, and still am really, a huge Michael Jackson fan. And she said, oh yeah, and they've got somebody on guitar that used to play with Michael Jackson who's actually going to be doing the guitar work that night. And I was like, what? Not. And she was like, yeah, I think it's a lady guitar. I was like, are you kidding me? she quickly realised she'd done really well with buying the tickets to this Michael Jackson tribute, because I was more excited about going to watch Jennifer Batten play guitar.
Yeah. And she's played with Jeff Beck and all kinds of people. Yeah, she's incredible.
She was killer. But yeah, Michael Jackson did a great version of it, and I was really into Michael Jackson when that Moonwalker film came out, which is showing my age a bit. But yeah, I think, do you know what? Actually, we don't confer or kind of talk about what we're going to speak about before we make these podcasts, but so often little wonderful moments happen where you just go, do you know what? I think that actually, Matt, that is the first time I heard Come Together. I don't think I'd heard the Beatles version.
I think the same for me, because I had Moonwalker on VHS when I would have been about 10, something like that.
That's it.
Which is a few years after it came out, but it would have been, I would have been about 9 or 10 when I had Moonwalker. And that's a great video, because it had all the music videos in, and that mini movie he did, the Moonwalker movie, which was based around like Smooth Criminal and stuff like that. And that's a great video. I might have to watch that again. Probably on Amazon Prime somewhere.
Play it to your son. My boys are really into Michael Jackson. My eldest, really loving Michael Jackson. And I didn't put that in his hands. You know, he selected a couple of CDs from the rack, and went through stuff he liked and went through stuff he didn't, and he gravitated to Michael Jackson and started discovering all his back catalogue and stuff, and they love the videos. They still hold up to this day, as does the music, irrespective of how you feel about Michael Jackson and the other side of his personal life. I'm not going to get into any of that. I'm just talking about the music in this instance.
I know you can still love the music, can't you, regardless of what, but let's avoid that. Let's take a sharp turn away from that.
We're going down another Matt and Kieran rabbit hole here. Where will they end up today?
I know. Hope you're enjoying the show. If you've got this far, you should probably subscribe so you never miss another show. Pause it here, go and subscribe, and then let's get right back to the show. Well, I'm going to move on to another positive one that I enjoy whenever I'm gigging, and that is Signed, Sealed, Delivered by Stevie Wonder. Oh. I love gigging that song. It's one of my favourites to gig. Just a great feel. Regardless of how you feel about the original, that's one that, for me, whenever I'm depping in a band, I don't know, it feels like the band always raise their game a little bit when we're doing that one, because the singer always loves singing it. The bass player always loves, grooving around that one, and it's just a great song to play. I love playing that song. It's a good one to solo over as well. If you get a solo in that song, I really enjoyed playing lead over that, because it's kind of, without kind of over-analysing it too much, there's a lot of opportunity for bluesy stuff as well as kind of nice melodic major scale stuff in there.
I can hear you soloing over that in my head, because I know how you approach soloing over that, and it's beautiful. It is. It lends itself to some really nice little phrasing.
It's great. I really enjoy playing over that song. And again, actually, in my list of things I enjoy, you can consider that song again a placeholder for anything really Stevie Wonder or kind of Motown soul kind of stuff. But I particularly love playing that one. But even things like Superstition, again, great song, Superstition. Superstition's usually in the list of spur songs that it's not necessarily in the set, but something to grab if you need to buy a bit of time. Because Superstition, everyone always knows it. Everyone always enjoys dancing to it. And we've Come Together, there's a lot of opportunity to jam it out a little bit and kind of break it down and put a little bit of interest in there, a bit of improvisation. Stevie Wonder, Signed, Sealed, Delivered, fantastic. I love playing on that song. It's great. Man.
You've done it again. So you've just hit on so many points, right? So where do I start with this? I'm going to try and remember what I was thinking in the order as you were talking, right? So you mentioned something about the whole band just kind of dials in, raises their game, just locks in. And do you know what? I think that is probably in many instances out of sheer reverence to Stevie Wonder, who is just a legendary artist, right? Nobody wants to get up on stage and just do a half-assed, attempt at any Stevie Wonder song, because that's just disrespectful.
Yeah, exactly.
in the main part, right? So when I asked the group last night, guys, doing the podcast recording tomorrow, and this is the topic, tell me some songs, the ones you love, the ones you hate. One of the comments from Dom, the drummer on the group, was
Tribe.
Sir Tribe, was basically anything by Stevie Wonder is all good, right?
Yeah,
and again, absolutely for sure, it is, and. So I had two numbers on my list of 5, and 2 of them are Stevie Wonder songs. So I've got Superstition on my list, and I've got Higher Ground as well. Higher Ground was one that I always wanted to learn and play and gig live, and I did a couple of years ago for a band that I did some depth work with. I was just like, man, this is just such a great song. And you're learning it, and you feel like you've got a duty of care and responsibility to learn and play it properly, because it's Stevie Wonder, and he's just a legend. So yeah, I think you're absolutely spot on. And then the other bit that made me laugh when you were talking was the bit about it, Superstition being in the Spares kind of set list, because everyone knows it. But I can honestly never get tired of that being in the main set list.
No, me neither. I agree entirely.
I mean, it's again, because it's one that can be jammed. It's one that everyone knows. It still just has that vibe, man, which I can't get bored of that riff. But I was gigging at a beer festival over the summer. Quite a big beer festival. It was good. Probably, I don't know, maybe at least 1,000 people. It was a reasonable sized crowd, and but it was like a classic beer festival like setup where there was a number of different bands. I think we were like the band just before the last kind of headlining band for the evening, and they were keeping the timings pretty tight. I think we had a set list of maybe an hour and 15 minutes, I think. And you kind of had the countdown kind of clock on the side of the stage, so you could see how long, and it was all being very well managed by the kind of sound and engineer crew and things. And we'd gone through our set list in advance, and we were going, yeah, we've got our hour and 15, give or take. We're all good. Did all the songs, did our set list. And we actually had a dep drummer for that gig, and we'd literally rehearsed just this set of songs to do the hour and 15 with this dep drummer, who did a great job. And we got all the way through the list, and we realized we still had like another 6 minutes on the clock. And we were like, okay, we got our math a little bit wrong. We've still got time for one more song, right? So obviously in this instance, everyone looked at the lead singer to say, well, right, he's going to tell us what we're going to play next. And he started shouting out songs like, we've got another 6 minutes. Let's do this. Let's do that. And we realized, hold on a minute, we've got a dep drummer who's not necessarily, on board with all of our full set list. So we can't just shout out random numbers. And it was getting to the point where I was like, right, we just need to play another song now, or we need to get off. So I just turned to the drummer and went, do you know Superstition? He was like, yeah, bang, straight in. And that was the song that we finished with. And it's just the universal language of that song, isn't it? And
it really is.
Yeah,
it's almost like it's inbuilt in musicians, isn't it? It's kind of, I mean, I wonder sometimes if I gigged Superstition before I listened to the song. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like it's in the DNA. Stevie Wonder simply just pulled it out and recorded it, but actually that song's inbuilt in the human race. But that is always the first one to come out of the bag. Certainly for me, in the dep gigs that I do, invariably it's in the list of Spurs songs, and on the night always there's 1 or 2 songs that gets vetoed by someone. Somebody will come and the singer maybe will say, not too comfortable singing that one. It's like, okay, Superstition. Throw that in there, and then the second set, Superstition, and then we'll just use Superstition to substitute every vetoed song, so we'll play it 4 times in that. No, just joking.
Do you know what? I don't think a dancing drunk audience would even mind if you did.
No, I don't think they'd notice. So, didn't you already play that? No, that was Sizefield.
No.
So what's next on
Sir
your
Duke
list
as
then?
well. We forgot Sir Duke.
Oh, Sir Duke, that's a good point. Yeah,
it's a good track.
That's
it's
a
a great track for
great
bass
song.
player. Yeah.
That's a happy song. That's a very feel-good music. Right, what's next on your list then of good stuff?
So I only had two more left, right? Because we said we'd try and do about 5 each. So I had Superstition, I had Higher Ground, Come Together. Mm-hmm. Next one, probably it probably sits in people will either loathe or love doing it, but I quite like doing it actually, and it's Sweet Home Alabama, and it's not a particularly difficult or enjoyable, entertaining song to play as a musician, but I just love the response that you get from that intro that an audience gives you, and for that reason, it kind of sits in the camp of I'm all right playing that night after night, even though it's not the most exciting song to play, because I love the impact that it has on the audience, and you can jam it with the band, and you can mess around with the arrangements a bit, and you can do breakdowns in it, and it's easy enough. So I couldn't figure out whether to put it into the songs that I least liked gigging, or whether I liked it, and I kind of netted out that actually, you know what, I quite like it.
Do you know what it is? I'd almost made it onto my list actually, that song, and I completely get what you mean. It's not like a really impactful song in it. It's not kind of like a what's the word I'm looking for? It's not like seminal music like some of Stevie Wonder's music was, or the Beatles stuff. But it's kind of like a warm blanket for when you're gigging. It's kind of in the same way that everyone knows Superstition and it goes down really well. Sweet Home Alabama is always in the set of Spurs, and it feels kind of it's safe and comfortable and it's fun. Again, it's all those things you kind of it's not exactly hard work, but it's good fun. And actually, if you're a guitarist, there's a lot of opportunity for self-indulgence in there as well, isn't there? In fact, I think the last time I gigged Sweet Home Alabama, in the gig I had in December just last year, I think I took the second guitar solo, and I think I soloed for twice as long as I should have done, really, but I didn't care. I wanted to be self-indulgent. I hadn't taken a long solo in a gig for ages because of COVID and everything, and that being the first gig in a while. So I like that song too. I think that's a very self-indulgent song. It's a great track. Everyone loves Sweet Home Alabama, don't they?
Yeah, I think so. It's one of those evergreen songs that I think I'm all right with. Yeah, there's a few classic setlist songs and Matthew Lake, who we've had on the show, uber legendary guitar teacher, musician, he kind of summarized it best. He kind of said there are some songs which can be seen as lazy set list kind of writing, but if you're a band out there doing kind of classic stuff, then those types of songs are going to feature in your set list. So he made some nice points in the messages that we had yesterday, and he said, look, some of these songs that we are sick of, and it's because everyone's doing them. And he said the reason we're probably sick of them is because we know loads of other songs that are really good and probably should get more airtime than these ones do. But I think this is one that probably deserves to get the airtime and ongoing legacy that it still has.
Well, I completely agree with that sentiment from Mr. Lake. It's a classic, and I think there's nothing wrong with kind of having a little bit of comfort in the set list, even if it, like he says, it could be looked at as being a lazy choice, but it's great music. So it serves the purpose.
He also said something uber profound in his messaging, which reminded me we need to get back on the show. And I'm definitely not going to do justice to the wise wisdom that he was spouting on the messages. But he kind of said it's also a mindset thing, right? He said if you're lucky enough to be a pro musician and get paid for playing, it's kind of a mindset thing. If you play through these songs with the mindset that I don't really enjoy them, I don't really want to play them, then you're going to play them badly and you're not going to enjoy them. And it's almost like disrespectful to the fact that you are making a living out of guitar. So he said the other thing to try and, reconcile with yourself is, I'm going to have a positive mindset around this song. We can try and play with the arrangement of it. We can make it a bit different, and, I'll do the best that I can with it. And then, that invariably stops you feeling like, you know, you're just getting to a low spot with the songs in the set list because you've just played them too many times or they don't do anything for you anymore. So I thought that was quite wise words as well. So.
Yeah, there's just something very profound there. Actually, I feel like he's revealing something about myself that I now feel different about the songs I've chosen as the ones I don't like. But maybe really what I don't like is something about myself in those songs when I'm playing them.
You see, that's why we need to get him back on the show, because he'll peel this onion to the inner core of what it really is saying about us. So he's just wise. He's just a very wise man.
It's the guitar philosophy of Mr. Lake. I think we need to get him back on because I think it would be beneficial to everyone to hear more from him.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, before this turns into a psychotherapy session on why Mustang Sally has traumatized us over the years,
well, do you know what I'm going to do? I hope you don't mind.
No,
I feel like that has actually it's the perfect time for me to talk about the songs. I'm going to go. If you don't mind, I want to just go through
Let's
straight.
Let's do that.
The songs that I don't enjoy gigging because I don't want. I think you know our listeners enjoy the positive conversations that we have, and although we've chosen to have almost a negative part, a yin yang to this conversation, I don't want to protract that part out too much. You know,
got you.
But the songs that I hate to say it, some songs that I really don't enjoy playing at all as a guitarist that are always in the set list for these deck gigs that I do. And number one, this song, and if anybody who knows me, really knows me, and gigs with me is listening, they're going to be shouting this song out now because I make it very clear I don't like this song whenever I'm gigging. It's Mr. Brightside by The Killers. Is that on your list of songs? Is that on your list of good songs?
No, that's on my list of bad songs. No, I've actually just shown you my list in time for our listeners. I've just held up my notepad to the video screen, inadvertently showing you everything on my bad list as well. But it's there, man. It's there as well. I feel you.
It's kind of I feel like it says more about me than it does about the song. I don't enjoy playing it. I find it really awkward to play. Credit to the guitarist in The Killers for coming up with such a great riff, because it is a fantastic riff and a great guitar part.
That riff is pretty cool.
It really is, but I find it, I've never really been able to get comfortable playing it, and I always kind of mess it up a little bit. So really what I'm saying is I don't like that song because I can't play it very well. I've never been able to play it really well. But also I don't really like the song that much. It's a great riff, but I can't stand Brandon Flowers, his voice. I've never been able to like The Killers. I don't like, it's just one of those bands for me that I just don't click with, But
I'm with you. I'm kind of with you on that. I don't mind The Killers as a band. I think they've done some good songs. For me, this is one of those songs that elicits a response in an audience that I don't like. All right. I remember when I've gigged this song is really, really drunk audiences just literally shouting the lyrics of this.
Yeah, I know.
And almost having a mosh pit in front of you of people just. This is one of those songs that just kind of sends a really happy, pleasantly inebriated audience from a point of having a good time and enjoying the band to then you're playing this song and then all of a sudden they've just gone nuts, but in not a very pleasant way. I don't know, maybe that says more about the venues that let me play guitar than the clientele. I don't know. But
I completely agree.
Do you know what I mean? Drinks are going to get spilled. Beer's going to go everywhere. People are going to get too rowdy with it. It's always in whenever I gig it in the bands that I gig with. It's always in the last 2 or 3 songs of the second set. It's the end of the night. That is sometimes followed by Sex on Fire, and then it might be some kind of sing along encore like Don't Look Back in Anger or something like that. But Mr. Brightside, it's everyone's drunk, everyone's had everyone's in full on party mode. Dance floor's usually full by then. So you start playing that riff and everyone's going mad for it. And then in my mind, I'm going, I hate this moment so much. I honestly, do you know what
once it gets into the second chorus, where that riff, the riff, the main riff, where that's not being played anymore, I'm like, okay, I can chill out now. I can enjoy the rest of the song. But actually, really, what I'm saying is, I can't play it. I need to practice it better. If I practice it better and got more comfortable with it, it might fall off the list. I don't know. I'm really, like I said, I think I'm saying more about myself than the song.
Maybe, but I also know you, and you're a very accomplished guitarist. And if you put your mind to it and loved it enough, you would. I'm sure when you play it, it sounds great. I've not even learnt that guitar part because I've only ever just chugged along the chords, and I think I've always played it where the other guitarist has taken the lead part in that one.
Yeah.
So I've not even attempted to learn it, but it's just a song that just doesn't. I don't think it deserves its place, right, in the final throes of a band's performance of an evening. I think there are better songs that, should hold that position in the set list.
I agree.
Two or three songs before the end of the night. Anyway, we're going to get loads of hate mail now.
Two of the songs for me that go onto that list of things that I just don't enjoy anymore. Moves Like Jagger, Maroon 5, just because it's boring as hell for me as a guitarist, selfishly. And actually, it doesn't tend to go down that well anyway. It's always in like the first set. Always really dancing to it. I don't understand why it was such a big hit, to be honest. I think it's boring. I sound like such an old curmudgeon, don't I? It's ridiculous.
It's modern music, Matt. It'll never catch on.
And the other one I used to enjoy, actually. I don't really enjoy it anymore. It's Teenage Dirtbag by Wheatus. It seems to always be in the set for bands that I gig in. And just don't really enjoy it anymore. Find it, again, I think part of me wants to be, kind of enjoying more easier guitar parts and enjoying listening to the band. And I think for me, when some guitar parts are just that little bit more awkward and I feel like I'm over concentrating on the guitar part, then I'm not enjoying listening to the rest of the guys I'm playing with as much. And I think that's where
totally agree.
The bulk of my enjoyment when I'm gigging, as much as I love playing guitar, for me, the bulk of my enjoyment when I'm gigging is listening to the rest of the band. I just love listening to the sound of a room of musicians, it's the best thing. So songs that take that away for me ruin it. But those are my three that I dislike.
So I'll segue from there then on that topic. So Basket Case by Green Day. Used to love that song when I was a teenager. Still think it's a great song, actually. But that's one that takes me away from the moment of playing with the band and enjoying the other musicians, because it's not a particularly difficult song to play. It's just power chords, but I don't know what it is about that song. Maybe it's something to do with the timing of it, or just the I don't know. I don't know what it is. I mean, I can play it, but I just find that it's one of those songs that I find I have to concentrate on playing, and I shouldn't really have to. It's not that difficult. It's not that difficult a song. It's just don't know something about that song.
I know what you mean. There's a lot of changes in that. You're constantly moving, and there's a lot of changes that you can easily get mixed up with other areas in the song, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean?
It
is easy to get lost in that song. I've gigged that song a couple of times and felt the same, kind of what's the next chord? Is it this one again?
Is it that bit or that one? Is it that bit? It is, because it's all the same chord.
Where am I going? Am I going to do you know what I mean? It's kind of and then you end up jumping around a little bit, and I know what you mean.
I just feel so much better I just feel so much better that you've exactly described the reasons why I find I have issues with that song. It's exactly that. It's you just have to concentrate to make sure that you're playing the right section of the song, because it just repeats in the same bits in different places, and you're just kind of constantly thinking, is it this bit that repeats now or the next bit? So anyway. But it is a good song. Johnny B. Good. I don't know. I didn't think I'd ever fall out of love with this song, but I think I know, man. I think I just have. Maybe it's just, I don't know. Maybe it's just the mood I was in when I wrote this list. It's a great song, but I don't know. Yeah. I might have to have a word with myself about that. I don't know why. I've just come off the back of playing that too much. I don't know.
Jam in B flat, trying to keep up, watch me for the changes. How could you not enjoy that, Marty McFly.
It was one of the first... Well, that was the reason I think I started playing guitar, was Back to the Future, watching that when I was a kid. Do you know what? I almost put a load of blues songs on this list as well, of songs that I least enjoy playing live in a band. It's not a blues song, it's a rock and roll song, but Nearest Damn It. And I think it was just because I'm not sure it does I'm not sure it does for the audience what we think it does. And yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. I think a lot of people just go through the motions playing it.
Yeah.
I don't ever see the rest of the band getting excited playing Johnny Be Good. That's probably what it is. I don't see the drummer really getting into it. I've never played that song and gone, we are all just in the pocket now, just absolutely thriving off what each other are doing. And whereas I definitely get that feeling playing, Come Together or any of the Stevie Wonder songs that you mentioned, you just go, we're in this together. I don't think I've ever played in a band where, even when we did it as Roadrunner, where all of us were just like,
I think you could be right.
The song is a great song.
Yeah.
There you go. And then Sex on Fire, which I really like as a song. And I don't mind playing it, but I had a conversation, quite a cathartic conversation, a few months ago with Dom Tribe, drummer extraordinaire. And he's like one of the most proficient drummers I've ever known. He's absolute, superb drummer. And he hates the intro for that song. Just like he has panic attacks.
Yeah, exactly.
Just trying to lock into the intro to make it like come in properly with the guitars. And I'm like, I'm so pleased you said that, because that, I thought that was just a me thing. But I think, it's quite a difficult one to nail the intro exactly spot on.
That's the thing, whenever I gig Sex on Fire, I don't mind that song. But so the intro for me is always kind of, sometimes I'll gig it and the drummer will say, can you count me in? Just do a count before you start the riff. And I always have to say, no. I don't know. I actually don't know where it is in the beat, to be honest, the riff. I know how to play the riff. Really sorry. You're just going to have to figure it out. Because it sounds terribly selfish. If I count it, I'll get it wrong. But if I just play it.
Exactly.
And, the drummer knows that
we
it's
might
all
stand
on
a chance.
the offbeat. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So lazy.
Once we got past the intro, I know. But once we get past the intro, I love that song. It's brilliant. It's a great one. It's a great crowd pleaser. I really love the different guitar parts in it. I really love the backing vocals and the chorus, just helping the lead singer reinforce that. I love it. I think it's a great song. It's only the first 30 seconds of it that you just think, oh God, it's are we going to pull it off this time?
Yeah, I still enjoy playing that one, but I know what you mean about the the riff and the timing and stuff. So is anything else on your list of unfavourable?
No, that's pretty much it. Cool. No, that's pretty much it, mate. Mustang Sally, I didn't put, I couldn't, I wrestled with that. I was just like, I don't know whether I love it or hate it. I mean, every time I saw it on the set list in the band that you and I played in for years, I was just like, oh. And then every time we'd start playing it, I'd have the best time of my life, just in tears of laughter with you, just vibing on it, just trying to make it interesting.
It was never about the song, though, was it? That was the thing. That was a good friend, Andy Rudd, the singer in the band. He was always, that was his, it was the vehicle for something else. That song. It was always Mustang Sally was the vehicle for some initial audience participation, where he'd get people up and, get a group of people up behind the mics singing and joining in. People would get up and take photos of the friends singing with the band, and it didn't really matter that it was Mustang Sally. It was about that kind of getting the audience's buy-in in the first set to the rest of the gig. And then after that, it was, because we'd come out of Mustang Sally and probably always go straight into Johnny Be Good, because then everyone was dancing straight away after that. Yeah. So actually, I think I've got two more on my list of
go for it, buddy.
Of belters. And one of them is Living on a Prayer, Bon Jovi.
Oh, nice.
And it's actually probably been over-gigged, but I do love playing that song because, again, I love being part of a band that's playing that song. And I love hearing a singer sing that song. When my wife was still singing in a band, Living on a Prayer would always be one of the last two songs in her band set that she'd do. And she Living on a Prayer, absolutely nail it. Just amazing. But I love playing that song. I like the guitar parts in that song. It's good fun. It's a simple song. It's enjoyable. Everyone loves it. It's got all the possible enjoyment, in a song that you can have really gigging. It's easy to play. It's fun to play. It's a good song. It's got great parts. parts. It's great. I like listening to the other parts in the band and the other musicians playing it. A lot of opportunity to have fun with it if you do want to. The people who are listening to the music enjoy it. Well, what's not to love about playing that song?
I think it's a brilliant song. It's got a great guitar solo. There's so many Bon Jovi songs as well that tick that list that you just mentioned. So yeah, I think it's a great choice. Rob in the MRM group came up with that as well. He's a phenomenal guitarist and singer and music teacher. And he said the same, Matt. He said, I just love being in a band that gigs that song. Can't get tired of it. It's just a great song to play, you know. And he's a Uber Guthrie like fan. He can he can play all kinds of stuff, right? And he's just like, yeah, just give me Living on a Prayer. I'll be happy.
Fantastic.
So, you know, yeah.
I'm glad we're in agreement there. And my last song, which I love gigging more than anything, I think, is probably Purple Rain.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't actually end up, it's never in the set really for wedding gigs or anything like that, but more kind of, pub gigs and things like that. We tend to put Purple Rain in the set, which obviously we did it a lot when we were in the same band together. That was a song we'd always end the first set with, and it would always go down really well. But just love the song, just love that song so much. It's really great to play. Again, all those same things as Living on a Prayer. I just love listening to everyone else playing that song. Great, just really perfect. I mean, it's a perfect song, really.
It's a beautiful song. It's an absolutely beautiful song, and I could never get tired of playing that and hearing it. It's such a great track. That's got to be high up on the list of absolute brilliant songs to play live.
Exactly. So, is there anything left on your list?
That's it, man. That's pretty. I mean, do you know what? I could keep writing the list, and I've probably left off a whole bunch of songs on both lists today. But you know, I think a lot of this is dependent on the audience, is dependent on the kind of mood that you're in, it's dependent on the arrangement. And I think it goes back to what Matt Lake was saying as well. It's dependent on the mindset, right? Some songs are there because they deserve to be there. Some are there which are good spares to have in a set list, and some need to be kind of challenged as to why they're on there, because there's some much better songs. So, but it's all ultimately about a mindset. And I know I've gigged songs better when I've just been in the mood for playing them versus when I'm just kind of tired of them. It's, you know, that can make a difference as well to how that song feels for you.
Yeah, 100%. Like, actually, I must say, there's some songs which I really enjoy playing if I know the band I'm depping with has got keys or maybe another guitar or horns and stuff like that. But if it's just me on guitar and there's a bassist and a drummer, then I'll dread some of those songs because you've got to carry the whole song harmonically if you're the only guitarist. And then there's songs that I love that I hate doing when I'm in just like a 3 or a 4 piece wedding band. So yeah, the circumstances can dictate that a lot for some songs, but such is life. At that point, you've kind of got to reconcile it to just, I'm just out learning, I'm working, just out doing a job rather than gigging for fun. Yeah. Mindset thing for sure.
Oh man, cool, man.
So what's in the diary for this week for you, mate? Music wise, guitar wise,
So I went earlier in the week for a little trip sofa shopping with my good lady wife, which as my voice would tell you, I was really excited about. Sit on this one. What do you think? Yeah, it's good, squishy. Yeah, very nice. It's anyway,
squishy, soft, sofa shaped.
Sofa, it looks like a sofa, but the said sofa shop also happened to be adjacent to the lovely village I used to live in, town of Farnham, which hosts no secret to the listening audience, my favourite guitar shop in the world, probably Guitar Village. I've been to many all over the world and yet still gravitate back to that house of dreams.
Other guitar shops are available.
Yeah, they are.
But Guitar Village is particularly special, isn't it? Right, it's just because you could take all the guitars out of Guitar Village and all the stuff, and you could still enjoy being in that beautiful old building. That's one of the things I love about Guitar Village.
That's it. So I went there this week.
All right. How did that go?
Don't worry. I can see your hackles rising already. It's just great. I was trying out some beautiful Larive acoustics. I've had a bit of a hankering. Yeah, they've got quite a few in stock at the moment, so I was trying out some of those. and trying out a couple of other bits and pieces. May pop back over the weekend and
have another little...
spend a bit more time there.
Yeah,
let's see.
Fantastic.
Let's see. Well, there was one guitar. I'll level with you. There was one guitar which I thought, there's something about this, but I think the strings, it just obviously come out of transport or something, and the strings were a bit dead on it. So I kindly asked one of the lovely guys there to say, look, would you mind just giving this a quick once over and a restring and a quick tweak, just so I can see what it's actually like.
Yeah.
I think there's something about this guitar, but it's one of those things. The strings are dead on it. So they gave me a very kindly, great customer service, gave me a call back and said, yeah, we've restrung it for you. It's all set up. Come and try it and see what you think. So I might pop back today.
Fantastic. Yeah, I can just imagine it now. You knock on your door at the house and you'd be like, sweetheart, there seems to have been a problem with the delivery company. Instead of a sofa, they've sent a guitar. No, it's all gone terribly wrong. Let me put this in the office and I'll sort it out. Okay. That's cool. This is the year, I remember you saying last year, that you're looking to get a new acoustic guitar.
Yeah. I quite fancy a new acoustic guitar. But it's going to have to be something really, really nice. So what I actually thought, and this is a top tip as well, I thought next time I go, I'm going to take my existing acoustic and just A/B some and just say, well, actually, how does it compare to what I've already got and what I already use? If it's not significantly better, then it probably doesn't warrant me getting a new one. But
have you considered having something made for you?
Well, there were some brilliant acoustic guitar makers at the guitar show that happens in the south of the UK that just blew me away with some of the stuff that they were doing. So. Yeah, we haven't been able. We planned to take the podcast to that Kempton Park guitar show in just outside London, but obviously with COVID, it's been delayed for a couple of years. But actually, the one thing that I got really excited about when I went to that show before COVID was some of the unknown or up and coming acoustic guitar makers that were showcasing their stuff there. Some really incredible things. So that's a good call. Maybe I'll hold off until I can try some of their stuff out.
Get something commissioned, because you kind of feel like, part of me kind of thinks that, I want to get some more electric guitars, but I don't really, the only acoustic guitar we have is this, little classical one here that is actually my wife's guitar. I kind of think if I was ever going to get a really good acoustic guitar, it'd be really great to kind of have like a family heirloom piece almost. You pay a few grand for, have it made, especially for me, but that it could be handed down to my son. It could be kind of in the family rather than just something cheaper that you just hang on the wall and use. Something that maybe means a little bit more, because there's something really lovely about acoustic guitars. So much more intimate, so much more. There's music in acoustic guitars waiting to come out. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of
I do.
Yeah, we need to do that. Next time that guitar show's on, we need to get down there and go and have a look at some of those builders.
There is there's some beautiful stuff being done, and we've spoken a lot actually, haven't we, about some of the lesser known electric guitar builders, or we just said lesser known luthiers, right? But we predominantly focused on electrics. But actually, when that guitar show's back on, we'll go down and we'll make a point of gathering up some of these acoustic guitar builders who are doing some really cool stuff. Nice. So that's me. A constant guitar safari continues, Matt, for no other reason than I have a phenomenally terrible addiction to stringed 6-stringed instruments, and it doesn't look like it's going to go away anytime soon. So at least it gives us fodder to talk about on the podcast.
Well, there we go.
So that's me. And then how about you? You got how's your practice regime coming along?
Okay. I've been practicing a little bit, not too much in the new year because I've got some house project stuff on the go. New year, kind of the fresh start in the new year in terms of getting things done in the house, which we've been in a couple of years now, but it's been a renovation. So I've mainly been doing that, but I have kind of been was thinking about writing some backing tracks to play along to. and stuff like that. And so I've kind of started doing that, which has been fun. But yeah, doing a bit more playing. I need to break the Helix out. I haven't played on the Helix for a few weeks now, so I need to get that out. Nice. And just kind of get playing on it again. Just remind myself how superior it is, and,
how the decision is absolutely justified.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, probably going to do that this week as well, and then same as you. Really, I guess it's just spending time every day coveting things that I really want. Just basically every guitar I see, I just want. So yeah, there we go. Another week of that.
I tell you what, I'm going to drag you kicking and screaming to a guitar shop so we can go and try out this PRS SE Silver Sky when it comes out. Properly.
I won't want to touch it.
Yeah, it's going to have to happen.
It won't. Honestly, I said this before. It's I'm not fun as a guitarist. I should be a fun person to be around in a guitar shop. I'm really not.
You should.
It's kind of like, because I'll be looking at things going, well, I can't buy that, so I will absolutely not touch it. In fact, I will turn my back to it. I don't want to even look at it. What's the point of looking at it? Yeah, where's the second-hand section? So I get some strings and picks and then go,
That's it.
Give my pay and display ticket to somebody else and go home. And that's basically what happens. It's been a short podcast. Yeah. Anyway, on that note, mate, should we wrap things up?
Yeah, lovely chat, mate. Good to speak to you,
buddy. Have a cracking weekend.
Yeah.
And I'll see you next week for another one.
Yeah, take care, buddy. Speak to you soon.
All the best, mate.
Bye, mate.
Speak soon. Thanks so much for joining us this week on the podcast. Let us know on our social media pages what you think of the song choices, and go and give a listen to the playlist on Spotify. Links are in the description. Remember to come and give us a follow so you never miss a show, and you can support us in many ways by following some of the links and help in the description too. Have a great week and take care. See you soon.